but Kai Havertz. I personally believe in him, and I've clashed with everyone on this channel. These are Arsenal fans. We've clashed. I have a few that kind of feel like, well, because you have a point, he will come around, but very few believe that. So, Kai, do you think we have made a mistake? Do you think we have spent 75 million that we shouldn't have?
I just told you, I think Arsenal should have spent that money
On a centre forward.
on a centre forward. But Kai Havertz, I think I liken the Kai Havertz situation to us and Mason Mount.
Yeah, Mason Mount.
This is a coach's player. You see,
I like Mount, by the way. I do like Mount.
When a coach is fascinated about a player, because I'll ask you a question. What problem? You gave me a problem that Declan Rice, of course, he came with that at high cost, but he was trying to solve a problem, and we are seeing it with Partey and his inconsistency
at the same.
What problem is Kai Havertz solving for Arsenal?
Well,
For 75 million.
Well, for 75 mil, I can't justify.
What's the 75?
I really can't.
That's exactly
because I honestly, there are so many players that would be an upgrade on Granit Xhaka going forward, scoring goals and creating chances for 35 million. That is an area of the pitch that we are lucky. You can still have a quality player for this price. I think what Mikel is looking for here, there are two things. One, a midfielder that can arrive in the penalty area and score more goals than Xhaka. I think he's used the Bayer Leverkusen template. He's looked at Kai Havertz at Bayer Leverkusen and he's gone, this is the guy. This guy makes those good runs. Thomas Muller kind of style. I don't think he's at that level anymore. Like, he spent 4 good years at Chelsea. It's no longer there. The confidence is gone. The runs are no longer, as frequent as they were. And I think for 75 million, maybe it is not justifiable. But you could see the picture. I could see the picture. I kind of feel like he wants that man that can score 14, just like Xhaka scored 7, can double the numbers.
Well, has he scored any yet?
No. In pre-season, he scored. He scored some in pre-season.
Exact same situation we are in with Mount. Man U, with all the issues we had, first player we signed is Mason Mount for nearly 60 almost 70 million.
Yeah, almost 70.
And you're thinking, okay,
what are we doing?
Yeah. So yes, the coach is so fascinated about this player. He was waxing lyric about him, how he's good in transitions, his work rate and what have you. Okay, noted, given he is. But United see, when you're making signings, you're solving problems. And for Arsenal, you see, and that's why I'm thinking Mikel Arteta is under a lot of pressure. Because unlike Man U, where we're trying out things, we are changing and overhauling, and we are signing fifth and fourth options of players. For Arsenal, you had a good team that was almost winning a title unexpectedly. You really gave Man City a run for their money. Now, you just want to add on players who are going to get to the other side, title side. You spend 75 million quid already. You're spending 115 on a midfielder. You're Arsenal. You're spending 75 million on a player who was clearly way out of his best at Chelsea. So it has got to work.
Yeah, it's got, and I think it's a problem that Mikel has created for himself, and probably a problem. The only reason why I would listen to critics of Kai Havertz is a problem we didn't have to have.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a problem we didn't have to have. If you've gotten rid of Xhaka, you could bring in any player, like anyone, for 25, 35 million, and it would work out. Right? But I'm going to have to ask you. Do you see any positives in Kai as a player? Generally, when you look at him, when you've seen him at Chelsea,
I think he's a different footballer from most footballers.
From what most footballers do. He's not Odegaard, he's not Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, he's different, and you see, that's always something as a manager you always want to bring in a different player to give you a certain hold when the one route doesn't work. What difference do you bring in?
What are you going?
He's different, but you see, Arsenal did not need a different footballer. With Mount, and if Kai Havertz ended up and Man U, I would understand, because Man U is trying out things. With Arsenal, you had created
a template that works.
And what was lacking in that template?
Number 9,
and that balance. Of course, Declan Rice was needed, I think.
Yeah.
But couldn't have been Declan Rice. You needed a player in that position because Partey was never consistent, but not for 120 million. You understand? But all you needed Arsenal, because all the players were, even Granit Xhaka could have stayed if they had to. I'm not sure it would be so difficult to keep Xhaka.
I think Xhaka, family reasons, the family wanted to go back to Germany and things like that.
Let's whatever the reason. Yeah. But you could easily have got a cheap person to come and replace him, but go for a striker that would make you a title contender. What Arteta did is take himself back. Arteta behaved like Man U. You've done all the work and got there. Yeah. Then you're you're restarting. Because this is a restart. You
restarted the process. I actually talked about it when I was doing my season expectations for Arsenal, and I said I kind of feel like we have gone back to zero. Yeah. Right. I don't know.
And this might work or might not.
Might not actually true. And before, he had taken Alexander Zinchenko out of the team. Yeah. He had played Partey at right back, and it was not working yet. It had not yet worked. But do you think it's because he feels teams found him out last season, and therefore he needed a new template,
I don't think
fresh
so.
look?
Arsenal ended the season. Yes, they were a bit struggling, but they were still applying themselves and winning games. I feel like no team found out Arsenal. It was early days to say that they have found us out, really. Because it ended a bit on a high. Not where it was, because Man City became Man City.
Yeah, true.
You understand? True. I don't think Arsenal should have adjusted whatever they were doing because they did not win the title. They keep doing the same thing, just add one thing. A striker, a number 9. Arsenal, I was shocked, we were never in the number 9 conversation.
No, we were never. Actually, the number 9 conversation popped up when the window had closed around 72 minutes after. So we talked about Arsenal interested in Evan Ferguson, and he would be a key target. Yeah. We never engaged in ourselves. Harry Kane, we were nowhere near. Victor Osimhen, we were nowhere near. And I thought actually we would, because the two strikers that have gone to PSG, Randall Kolumuani and Ramos, those were the crows in the jaw. Those guys.
Mwani, I wish Mwani came.
Mwani is good. Mwani is really good. But I prefer Ramos. I prefer Goncalo Ramos better, the Portuguese.
For Arsenal.
Yeah, because he's more like that beast in the box. Yeah, beast in the penalty area.
Mwani is more of a winger, I think.
Yeah, Mwani loves to drift. Yeah, more like Rasmus Hoyland. Yeah. He's gonna drift in the middle and do all that. Ramos wants to be fed, and I think our system last season really created a lot of chances. Zinchenko created a lot of key passes. Odegaard was averaging like 2.5 key passes per 90. But this season, it's away. It's gone. So you've seen Arsenal. It's match day 5. Personally, I feel we have to improve. Like, this is unsustainable. 1-0 against Everton, then late winners against Man United, then a draw against Fulham. It's unsustainable. Do you think Arsenal will get better this season within the campaign? Do you think there are levels that will hit? There are levels, their lockers will unlock in our game?
I think they'll become more exciting to watch at some point in terms of getting better. Better for Arsenal will mean being on top of the table, for almost the same period they were last season. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Arsenal is going to reach a point and they will just stay flat. They are winning games they should win. They lose games. They return leg against Man. I thought Man U was comfortable against us. Yes, you beat us, but I felt actually I was happy about how Man U played. To be honest, that game.
I also don't think Man United really were under massive pressure. Exactly. Still, I didn't see quality chances missed. Exactly. Apart from the Bukayo Saka one that maybe Onana kept out in the second half, there wasn't really much.
You didn't beat us in a way that felt okay. Arsenal last season. You understand?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. We were all over Manchester United.
Exactly.
We were all over Man United.
The difference was day and night. This time we're almost there, and most of our key players were not even there. Some of our key players were not in the game. So Arsenal they will get better, but not as good as they were last season. I don't see that happening because, like I said, Arsenal is restarting. For me,
it's not kind of a restart. It's a restart. Yeah. He wants to do different. He wants to have the ball more. Yeah. He wants to have grip on games more. Do you think it's one of the things he thinks as manager, and he's like, maybe I lost points last season at the Anfield because when I led 2-0, Liverpool had all the possession. When I led 2-0 against West Ham, they had almost the same possession as us. So Is it a frailty that he thinks he wants to correct?
Yeah, but probably it is him sticking to his plan, because I think last season came too early on them. I don't think last season was intended
for Arsenal to go second. And,
sure. It happened, but then he said, guys, let's not get too excited. Let's stick
to the plan.
The
plan is to
grow. I think for Arsenal, the ambition now is not to win the title.
Yeah,
Mikel Arteta and Edu, I don't think they're eyeing the title. The fans are, because they were second last season, and they see Man U is sleeping, Liverpool is restarting. They see we can win it, we can beat Man City. But I think for Arteta, is taking the time to grow whatever he wanted to develop at the club. So yes, it finished second, but he won't be derailed. He'll just keep focused on what he's doing. For me, that's what I think, and that's why I say Arsenal fans' expectations
should be low.
Otherwise, you'll finish third or fourth, and you will start calling for Arteta's head. The way Man U fans were calling for Ten Hag.
Yeah, I know. So, guys, how much time would you give to Mikel Arteta? Personally, I've decided to back him all the way. He's done well. I love the culture. I love the identity. I love the signings. I love the organization, top to bottom. I think it's a new era at Arsenal, an era I've not seen. Personally, I'm 26. I've not seen Arsenal win a Premier League title, but I've not seen Arsenal disorganized, top to bottom. Like all the decisions made, all the way we are spending the money, the way we are dealing with players' contracts. It's much better.
And Arteta is in full control.
Is in full control,
in full control.
True.
Now, that's a very important thing, because at a club like that, you've got to be a manager in control. The problem that United has had, even these Unai Emery's at Arsenal, they were never in full control.
Never. Because he asks for Zaha, and somehow someone signs Pepe for him. And
so he was never in full control. At Man U, Erik Ten Hag is trying to be in full control. That's why he's doing whatever he's doing.
I think he's having enough backing from the club, because I've just seen that from the Jadon Sancho incident.
Exactly. So for Arteta, you see, it's a project. You can't. I think Arteta will be there for. I mean, maybe not as long as Wenger, but he'll be
20
there
plus years
for a long time.
So guys, thank you so much for watching Cossy's Arsenal podcast. Of course, you can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Twitter. You can also subscribe always to the show on YouTube. I am with Webb, and he is on the hotspot with Webb on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitter as well.
On Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So make sure you subscribe to him, and of course, we'll be back with another episode. See you soon.